Hey there, reality hackers. Sebastian here, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the quantum realms of existence. In our last episode, we explored the possibility of machine consciousness. Today, we're going to flip that idea on its head and ask, what if we're the ones inside the machine? What if reality itself is one giant computer program? Now, I know what you're thinking. Sebastian, you've been watching too much sci-fi. And sure, the idea might sound like something straight out of the Matrix. But stick with me, because this concept isn't just the stuff of Hollywood. It's a serious hypothesis that's been proposed by philosophers, explored by physicists, and is even being tested by computer scientists. So let's boot up this cosmic computer and see where the program takes us. First, let's rewind a bit. Remember in our first episode when we talked about the observer effect? How the act of observation seems to collapse quantum possibilities into definite realities. And in our last episode, we explored how consciousness might emerge from complex quantum interactions. Well, today's topic ties directly into these ideas. Because if reality behaves like a vast quantum computation, with possibilities collapsing into definite states when observed, then maybe, just maybe, we're living in something akin to a cosmic video game. But before we dive into the deep end of this digital ocean, let's start with a thought experiment proposed by philosopher Nick Bostrom. It's called the simulation argument, and it goes something like this. Imagine a future civilization with incredible computing power. They could create simulations so detailed and complex that the simulated beings within them would be conscious, just like us. These beings would have no way of knowing they're in a simulation. Now, if it's possible to create one such simulation, it's probably possible to create many. In fact, a super advanced civilization might create billions or trillions of these simulations. And if that's the case, then statistically speaking, it's far more likely that we're living in one of these countless simulations than in the one real reality. Mind-bending, right? But here's the kicker. Bostrom isn't saying we are in a simulation. He's saying that unless we think it's impossible for any civilization to ever create such simulations, we should consider it highly probable that we're in one. Now, at this point you might be thinking, okay, but that's just philosophy. Where's the science? Well, buckle up, because we're about to take a quantum leap from philosophy to physics. In the world of theoretical physics, there's an idea known as digital physics. It suggests that the universe, at its most fundamental level, might not be made of tiny particles or vibrating strings, but of bits of information. Yes, the same kind of bits that make up the data in your computer. This isn't just wild speculation. It's based on some mind-bending discoveries in physics. For instance, there's something called the Beaconstein bound, which puts a limit on the amount of information that can be contained in a given region of space. It's as if the universe has a maximum resolution, like a cosmic computer screen. Then there's the holographic principle, which suggests that all the information in a volume of space can be described by information on its boundary. It's like saying all the data of our 3D world could be stored on a 2D surface, just like a hologram. But perhaps the most intriguing evidence comes from the world of quantum mechanics. Remember quantum entanglement? It's that spooky action at a distance where particles can instantly affect each other across vast distances. Well, some physicists have suggested that entanglement might be the result of information processing at a fundamental level of reality. In fact, physicists like John Wheeler have proposed the idea of it from bit, the notion that the physical world, the it, arises from information. The bit. In this view, reality is fundamentally made of information, and what we perceive as physical matter and energy are just the result of information processing. Now, I know we're getting into some pretty abstract territory here, so let's take a moment to ground this in something more familiar. Think about a video game, let's say an open-world game like Minecraft. In Minecraft, you have this vast, seemingly infinite world to explore. You can dig into the ground, build towering structures, interact with animals and other players. It feels real within the context of the game. But we know that underneath it all, it's just data and algorithms. The trees, the mountains, the very laws of physics in the game world, they're all lines of code. Now imagine a version of Minecraft so advanced that the blocks developed consciousness. To those conscious blocks, their blocky world would seem as real as ours does to us. They would have no way of knowing that their entire existence was running on a computer somewhere. Could our reality be something similar? A vastly more complex version of Minecraft running on an unimaginably powerful cosmic computer? It sounds crazy, but the more we learn about quantum mechanics and information theory, the less far-fetched it seems. But here's where it gets really wild. If we are in a simulation, it might explain some of the puzzling aspects of our universe, like why the laws of physics seem to be fine-tuned for the existence of life, or why there appear to be fundamental limits to our knowledge, like the uncertainty principle in quantum mechanics. These could be features of the program, put in place by the programmers. Now, at this point, you might be feeling a bit existential. If we're in a simulation, does that make our lives any less real or meaningful? Are we just characters in someone else's game? Well, I'd argue no. Even if we are in a simulation, our experiences, our thoughts, our feelings, they're all real to us. The love you feel for your family, the awe you experience when looking at a starry sky, the curiosity that drove you to listen to this podcast, all of that is genuine, regardless of the underlying nature of reality. In fact, the simulation hypothesis doesn't negate the ideas we've explored in previous episodes. The observer effect could be seen as the way the cosmic program renders reality. Consciousness could be an emergent property of sufficiently complex information processing within the simulation. But the simulation hypothesis does open up some mind-bending possibilities. If we're in a simulation, could we find ways to peek behind the curtain? Could we discover glitches in the matrix, so to speak? Some scientists are actually working on experiments to test this idea. For instance, physicists have proposed looking for evidence of a computational grid in the energy of cosmic rays. Others suggest that if we are in a simulation, there might be telltale signs in the distributions of the digits of mathematical constants like pi. And here's a really wild idea. If we are in a simulation, could we potentially hack it? Could we find ways to bend or break the laws of physics by manipulating the underlying code of reality? It sounds like science fiction, but then again, so did smartphones and the internet not too long ago. As we wrap up this digital dive into the nature of reality, I want to leave you with a thought experiment. The next time you're going about your day, whether you're working, playing, or just sitting quietly, take a moment to really look at the world around you. Look at the intricate details, the complex interactions, the vast scale of it all. Now imagine that everything you're seeing, everything you're experiencing, is the result of an incredibly advanced computer program. How does that change your perception? Does it make the world seem less real, or perhaps even more wondrous? In the end, whether we're in a simulation or not, the universe remains a place of profound mystery and endless fascination. The simulation hypothesis is just one more reminder of how strange and wonderful reality truly is, and how much we still have to learn about the nature of existence. As always, we've only scratched the surface of this mind-bending topic. In our next episode, we'll explore another fascinating idea: the concept of multiple universes and how they might be connected to the choices we make every day. But until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, in this cosmic computer game we call reality, you're not just a player. You're a programmer, constantly shaping the world with every choice you make. This is Sebastian, and you've been listening to the Quantum Observer. Until next time, stay curious, and may your reality render in high definition.